Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers, including Peter Berryman, John Robertson, Brandon Trano, and IndyCar World Champion Alex Palou. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello and welcome to the Radical Racing Challenge live on Apex Racing TV. We're here for week 11 of the championship, the Strength of Field race. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Johan Karanus. Mike Yor is in the production booth providing this stream on our YouTube channel this evening. And Johan, it's just the penultimate round of the championship tonight, and we visit a track that at least I have not seen this series visit for at least 15 months. We've never broadcasted this car track combination in the past on the channel, and it should be a lot of fun because this is a lots of fun track, albeit overtaking will be at a premium.
Yeah, I definitely agree, Sam, and to me I get the warm and fuzzies when I see Barber Motorsports Park, but that's probably because it's the only place I've ever taken pole, and we visited it with in the comforting confines of an LMP2 car, so slightly similar to these radicals, but it's a driver's track in the sense that the qualifying is going to be a large amount of fun for these guys, but then after that, as you said, in the race, overtaking is extremely difficult. There's a lot of long high-speed corners, blind chicanes, and not really much in the way of overtaking unless you royally stuff up the exit of one of the corners, because then, yeah, you're in big trouble. But definitely looking forward to seeing how consistent these drivers can be across the course of one race.
We've got a slightly different field to what we sometimes have, a bit of a lower turnout tonight. Of course, many drivers not owning this circuit, and certainly I think it's a good track, and certainly you think it's a good track, Johan, but some drivers maybe not particularly keen on it. We do still have two splits though, but there might be a few different drivers near the top of the standings perhaps having a chance at a podium, which they would normally not have a chance, and a few drivers as well that we don't usually see in the top split as well. So currently in this 8-minute qualifying session, and drivers can of course set 2 lap times, and they are currently on their first lap. But as my catchphrase goes, the drivers are always faster on the second lap. So this one is very much just a banker, as we see them just flat out easy peasy through the first chicane, not even having to take any curves. And really is a unique circuit. There's so much undulation, long radius corners on several occasions as well, wide track in parts, then narrows up in other parts. And so it will be very different for these drivers. Just rounding the final corner here for many of the drivers, and we'll see who can put themselves to the top of the standings.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting, as you said, with tire temperature playing a big role, especially during these long sweeping corners. So going through turn number 2 at the moment, and your tires need to be switched on, and you need to have that grip, because the amount of times that you're just dancing with the limits at this track, even as a novice driver, it's going to be quite a bit. So you really need to be on top of your time management for this race. And I think we might see a few interesting situations come across in the last few laps of the race as the tires really start giving up on life. So as I said, this is kind of going to be a bit of a war of attrition, and going to come down to who can be the most consistent while still pushing that car as fast as possible. So Gulliksen currently sitting with that title with the 1:17.731, but still a lot to change as we go around.
Yeah, and interestingly, Studnicka had his first lap time invalidated. He's personally my favourite for this race. He's taken a number of pole positions this season, but he will need to deliver on that second time. Lots of drivers about to approach the line for their second lap. So I got Car Modi, Berchtold now crosses the line. Gulliksen's going to be across the line very soon as well. Is Gulliksen able to improve? He is quarter of a second faster than Berchtold. Also a few others improving. What can Kyrgiopoulos do? Well, if he's going to win a race, this is a brilliant chance for him to do so. The car number 3 always in this strength of field race. He is able to improve. He's not far off pole, but it is third place ahead of Putaklis and Galmo at the moment, and we wait for Studnicka. That's going to be the big one. Hesterman also just approaching the line at the moment. Car number 8, he could get himself maybe on the second row of the grid if this is a strong time, and he does move up into 4th place at Rold as well. Studnicka, final corner. This is looking pretty good for him so far, I think. And after taking many pole positions already this season, had a little bit of a downturn in qualifying pace recently, but he's only 17th. He did make a mistake. Apologies, I wasn't having the sector times open. And Marek Studnicka, car number 2, my favourite to win this race. He is all the way down there. You can see Medema as well, car number 1, down in 15th place. So the seedings really not living up to expectations, albeit Medema has still got a second lap to set. No personal best so far on this lap.
I think this. So I think Barber Motorsports Park is really set up for an upset, and it's one of those tracks where you need to drive with absolute confidence. And unfortunately, Studnicka didn't have that luxury, as he had everything coming down to his second lap after invalidating the first, and that is most likely in turns 12, 13, and 14, where it's very difficult to keep the car inside of the track. Especially on the colder tires. So difficult qualifying for him. I think there's still a possibility to win something, but he's going to have to work for it.
Yeah, really unpredictable this one, because honestly, I don't think anyone... I think the only race winner we've actually got in this field is probably Studnicka. Honestly, I cannot remember anyone else ever winning a race in these strength of field races. But Gulliksen's got a good chance. He's on pole position ahead of Berchtold. Kyrgiopoulos would love to see him win a race. I mean, we're not biased, but come on, Dennis, you can do this. Johannes Hesterman starts in 4th place, and it's Pat Labros. Never really see Pat before, honestly, in this split, but good to see him around. There's Aldous Putaklis, Gabriel de Rold, Hampus Galmo, Scott Lear, Sean Hamodi, Ray Peasley, Tom Hammond in 12th. Then it is Newman, Ward, Medema car number 1, Mathers, and Studnicka, who is car number 2. Everyone put in a lap time. Everyone fairly competitive as well. We'll see what this race is going to be like tonight, as we've just got a couple more drivers to go. Just a quick question, Johan, who's going to win?
So I'm going to put my money on Kyrgiopoulos. I'd love to see him perform quite well, and looking forward to what he will do on the track. Of course, Berchtold, a very strong driver in his own right. Gulliksen, it's been a very good qualifying for him, so he might have the pace in hand. But I'm going to put my money on number 3.
We've got only Studnicka yet to get onto the grid. I think it's a bit of a bad move there. I'm not genuinely having a go at Murek, but he was last place. Here we go. We are about to get the lights on then for about 25 minutes here at Barber Motorsports Park. And away we launch. A little bit of wheel spin for the front runners, but Gullikson gets into turn 1 in the lead. Koppers getting away decently as well. Then there's a little bit of a gap back to Butterclis in 4th. A little bit of sliding in the background. And a couple of side-by-sides here with Hesteman trying to get past Labros. Right now they are alongside as they go over the crest for the first time, where the track really starts to narrow up. And you want to be single file now down the hill into what the biggest braking zone on the track. This is where overtaking is going to be possible. And of course it's particularly important on lap 1 as well. So it's Gullikson leading the way, Birchtold, Hirkopis, Butterclis. Labros was able to stay ahead of Hesteman, who ended up losing out to Scott Lear as well in all of that. And still, pretty much everyone's still pointing the right way. Vinnie Newman seemingly going off the track on this opening lap.
Yeah, it's nice to see everyone get away as cleanly and not to see major incidents on the track. So just looking at Lear, and he's got a few cars behind him. So Hesterman looking very, very aggressive on the rear of him. In front of him, Labros coming into the camera as well. And as they go around the last few corners of the lap, and this is, to me, corner 15, a very difficult corner. It's kind of the radius tightens as you go through it, so you can't even brake for the corner. You essentially just start trail braking at some obscure point.
Big crash in the background. Hesterman, Studnicka, did he get involved in that? Was still got cars flipping about on the pit straight. I think it was literally just a case of one driver having a slide, slowing up and causing absolute mayhem behind, with drivers trying to take evasive action. You can still see the smoke as the drivers head alongside. This was what happened to Peasley a bit earlier on. You could just see in the background there the spin for Newman. That's why he went off. And then Peasley seemingly getting through all that, maybe just coming up on our event timer due to him going particularly slowly. But I'm sure we will get a replay at some point of what happened at the final corner. This is what happened to Carmody. He lost about 6 places off the start. Fortunately, he was sort of out of harm's way when the big crash happened, but that'll cause him a lot of damage as well.
Yeah, that was corner 13, so you're kind of going across the crest of the corner, and if you're too fast, you can't brake to stay inside of the track. So lost control of the rear there. Might have been lock up. Oh! The rolled as well. Oh, okay. Thankfully, this is just a replay.
Yeah, so initially... Yeah, it's initially Hesterman then who lost the car, I think. And then driver, or I think Hesterman got on the brakes, and it was whoever has had a Hesterman who initially had the big slide, and then that caused a lot of problems. Seems like Galmo, Hesterman, DeRold, and Studnicka all retiring due to that incident. So it's thinned out our field a little bit more, and yeah, that's disappointing to see those drivers get eliminated in such unfortunate style as well. Really no one's fault that instant.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pity. It's left the door open for some of the other drivers, but again, this is one of those tracks where funny things do happen. As you see, Corey Koppler is kind of struggling a bit there with turn 7, 8, 9 chicane. A very blind one. And Mathers here in behind Carmody, and you can see, Carmody very wide out of the exit of the chicane, but Mathers not enough speed to actually close down this gap. They go down the back straight, and you can see it's so difficult to get closing speed through these corners because everything seems to be high speed. Mathers getting a good run there through turn 12 into 13, and now here might be a bit of an opportunity for him if he can get the braking right. Carmody nice and early on the brakes, but you can see he's very wide. He's kind of limited the corner for him on 16, and here we go. Mathers gets the overspeed. He's got the better exit, and that Carmody's car looks also a bit rough from the front hand side. So nice and hard braking. Mathers gets the move done, and then Newman there behind Carmody also looking for an opportunity as we go through 2 and 3. But it's very good driving there for Mathers in the last few corners of the lap.
Yeah, excellent work in order to pull off that move. Got a message in the chat, and fantastic to have anyone who is listening along as we see Newman ahead of Carmody now. Apologies, my screen went slightly there, but I believe Newman has just passed Carmody. You can see the damage on Carmody's car, and that's really harming him right there. Yeah, someone on the YouTube chat, Rick in a hat, saying John in, Mazepin out, John for Haas F1. Of course, very exciting news about that second Haas seat. But I don't know who John is, so if that could be elaborated or not. I assume a friend of Rick in a hat, but you know, call up Haas F1 and see if John could get that seat. I'll certainly be applying my CV in order to drive in that car for the forthcoming season. So far, Gullikson seems to have this race under control. We weren't really sure what was going to happen out here at Barber when the qualifying results came in. We weren't sure if Gullikson was going to be able to keep up his pace, but he has certainly done that so far over the first 20% of this event. Issues for a couple of other drivers. Putiklis was able to get past Kirikopoulos. I'm not sure if we ever saw that one, but Putiklis very quick after qualifying in 6th place, gained a couple of places initially, and then has since moved his way up another place. So really, probably Putiklis is the closest on pace to Gullikson, but already is 3 seconds behind, and crucially got a car between him and the race leader.
So we'll just have a quick look at the overtake. And Sammy will run us through this one.
Yeah, so Kirikopoulos, I think he got on the brakes at a decent point, but just seemed to lose control of the car on the apex, slid out wide, and just did not have the momentum on the exit. It's very tricky around this circuit. We cannot, we kind of just have to say that corner. Oh dear, Peasley has had a problem. He is hard into the wall. I think that's on the entry to turn 2, is it? I'm very lost. I'm not usually lost around circuits. I think I was right, but this is what happened.
So Herman's going into turn 1. And, ooh, he got a bit extra braking on the curb there. So let's see if he washes out. Oh no, sorry. Some technical difficulty, we apologize. So here we can see Peasley. And nice hard run down to turn number 1. Washes a bit wide. Oh, and that's a big shove. And that's unfortunate. So not enough speed from him through 1, and I think that might have caught his opponent off guard a little bit.
Yes, yeah, getting a bit of a tap from behind, and yeah, causing quite a few problems right there for those drivers. As Nicholas Rasmussen asked, can I change my name to John and get the Haas F1 team? Well, he wants the whole team, does Nicholas Rasmussen, which I think is going a step too far, honestly. You know, like ambition, but you need to be realistic sometimes, Nicholas. But he corrects that and says he just wants the seat. So yeah, try it, honestly. It's worth a shot. Yeah, we'll see what happens on that one. Kirikopoulos now being caught by Labrosse. Pat is not a driver who we usually see in this series. Good to see him about though, and you can see how the 3 cars ahead of him are not too far up the road, but if he could pass Kirikopoulos by the end, that would be very pleasant for him. See easy flats out for that first chicane. I was going to say earlier on, it's really tricky for us to say any corner names around here because the corner names mean nothing. I'm sure you viewers have no idea when I say turn 5. You don't know what I mean. I don't know what I mean. The corner names don't make sense around here. There are no corner names. So we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. We're just going to say that corner, that left-hander, the hairpin, the chicane. And I think that'll be the easiest way to do it. Newman, meanwhile, getting past Peasley, who of course has got damage. Newman actually had a spin, I think, a lap ago as well. So that's why he's quite so far down. But that is a change for 12th position back there.
We might need to start making up our own names.
So good idea.
As we head down towards the Spider hairpin.
Nice
downhill, hard downhill braking zone. Very good opportunity to make a move up the inside here. Medima looking for something. And as we go down one of the many straights into the blind chicane. And this is a very scary one if you're in the car, because you're just absolutely launching it, praying that you're hitting the correct line. And there you can see Leah, a bit of a slow exit, but Medema with no opportunity to do anything. Then we've got the banana chicane as well. Just quick little twist onto the back straight. And then for the nail biter as we go across turn 13 as you wash out wide. And now into the S bend, well, the P bend. I wanted to make a plumbing reference, but I wasn't quick enough on my feet. But very, very difficult tightening radius corner. And I'm going to pull this one from another track as we go into Revolver. Not very original, but it's a very quick, hard corner. And then into Forest View Curve. Named because as you start looking at the forest, you know when you need to get onto the throttle to get going. And I think I might have actually seen some of the other sculptures there around 2 and 3, just for your information, Sam.
Well, that's very impressive that you've been able to name. That was off the cuff, and you just named half the corners. So well done on that one. That's something that Barber Motorsports Park hasn't been able to do for 20 years. You've just done it in 20 seconds. So congratulations on that one. Here comes a move into the downhill. Is it the downhill chicane? I think we called it. No, the blind chicane. Sorry, the blind chicane. Blind chicane. And then Newman getting past Carmody there. So Carmody's got damage, I think. Leah always offline. He is offline, and Medema, if Anne was close on the last lap, even closer this time. But then they got a little bit held up. The final corner was too close, and it really compromised Anne's exit there. And once again, not close enough at turn 1, but it's got to be turn 3, the downhill spider hairpin, where the move's got to come.
I really love that name. That's one of the kind of key identifying features of this track is all the sculptures that you could litter around. So the spider is the very big obvious one, but there's a few other ones that you can try and spot as a spectator. Leah looking pretty good at the moment. He's been able to stay ahead of Medema for the majority of the first portion of the lap, and now he just needs to get this chicane nailed. And this exit is very important because it sets you up for the entirety of the rest of the lap, it almost feels, because this chicane is not going to mean anything as you go through 10 and 11, and then as you set up to 12, there's not really an opportunity for a move, and then before you blink, you're already on the penultimate corner as well. So that first portion of the lap being very crucial.
As Leah is a little bit wide once again, just wondering if maybe Medema will be able to get past this time. And here we go, Medema up the inside. And after starting all the way down in 15th place, Medema up into the top 6, albeit 5.5 seconds to catch up to La Brosse. I doubt that one is going to be possible by the end of the race. Quick shout out to SDK Gaming, by the way, for providing our overlay. And you can see up on screen the time tower offering you so much information along with the car numbers that you can see up on screen, which is very useful for the seasons. I think we can also display the position changes and the nationalities of the drivers. It's really cool. And of course you can see the driver profile in the bottom corner. Also display track maps and lots of different kind of information stuff. And of course, this is just for the broadcasting overlay. You can also use it as a heads-up display, and also for when you are streaming. So big thanks to SDK Gaming. Do check out sdk-gaming.co.uk in order to get yourself a subscription. Boost after really closing in on Berchtold early on in the race, just not happening anymore. And I wonder if maybe it's that tyres situation that you were talking about earlier on, Johan, maybe pushing a little bit too hard early on. I think he'll be able to keep Kyriakopoulos behind, but the momentum very much swinging away from Poutsclis in this part of the race.
So we spoke about the tyres, but we didn't consider the fact that the car might also not make the entirety of the race. So both Cormody and Peasley looking a bit worse for wear. It almost feels like that rear wing is more suited for the current season of F1. But they're going to be duking out with their unique setups. One quick thing I also wanted to mention, last season I saw someone by the name of May participating, and I've now seen Hammond as well. They're in 8th position at the moment. I'm yet to see a Clarkson to get the trio, but it's always fun to see very familiar names with you in the racing server. Putiklis in 3rd position, and you can see there Kirikopoulos still behind him, but 7/10 at the moment. At some point he's going to be getting into that sweet spot for the draft and possibly challenging for 3rd position again.
Yeah, the problem is that as he gets closer, he's going to get more of that turbulent air, and with such long radius corners, that is going to be harmful to the following driver. Fortunately, the track is wide enough. It's not like Alton Park where it's one line for all the corners. Around here, at least, you can take alternative lines, kind of get out of the aero wake. So there is a bit more of a possibility, but it's still not easy for the drivers. You see Putiklis really kind of turn in early and trail braking into the Spider hairpin. So he has got a very distinctive line around that part of the track. By the way, Hovanis Javorjan lets us know on the chat, people should join the Radical Discord. I fully agree. I am a part of the Radical Discord. Got about 500 Radical drivers, I believe, on. And yeah, really fun community. It's the Radical community, so do join that. I think maybe if you go to the iRacing forums, then you can go on it, or maybe even Hovanis could put a link in the description or in the YouTube chat to point you in that direction. And of course, if you do not race this Radical SR8 normally, do race it. We've got Nordschleife next week, which is an amazing track, of course. Maybe not the best beginner's circuit, but the guys really do enjoy that car track combination. So do race in it in some capacity, whatever track it is. Maybe just launch up your favourite track in the Radical SRA. It is a lot of fun. And yeah, maybe we could see you in the strength of field races in the future.
You spoke about the Nordschleife not being a good beginner track, and I do agree to a small extent. It's a lot of learning for a single week of racing, but because it's such a long lap and you need to be consistent across such a long lap, if you can do it consistently, it's actually a very good race, because you can get away with gaining positions without really fighting for them. I'd say fighting at the Nordschleife is definitely not beginner friendly, but it's definitely one of those tracks that you need to do just to have the experience. I remember driving it just to get some experience for the broadcast, and it being an absolute blast. Of course, then we did it at night, which was not the best thing in the world, but this time we're doing it in the morning.
Yeah, we're very, very happy about that on Apex Racing TV, because yeah, it's nice to be able to see the cars. Of course, the last is it the last 3 seasons or the last 2 seasons which Josh Cam has won and Arturas Candelas has been P2? I really want that to continue. I'm sure Candelas will be there. I don't think anything can stop Arturas turning up. I'm surprised he's not here tonight, honestly. But hopefully we see Josh Cam around. I might even send him a Discord PM and say, come on, mate, got to keep the streak up. Labros running a little bit wide. Fortunately, not losing any places. Albeit, well, yeah, not losing any places. Medema closing in a bit, but no problems. And we also see what happened to Sean Harmody, the American Joe, who's got a very nice, I must say, very good profile picture. Thanks to Sean for uploading that using the SDK driver info app. And, yeah, has continued on his way.
That was almost wide enough to almost look like it was entering the pits. Bit of a scary thing to see in front of you. Peasley now behind Cormody yet again. Yeah, that car's wing is just something different. rough race, but kudos for him for actually sticking in there. It's always tricky when your car is in such poor state to actually want to continue, and especially on a track like Barber where you really need the fullest of your aerodynamic capability, and he's just stuck it in there. So it's massive props to him as well for sticking there throughout the entire race.
Yeah, definitely. Wonder if you could ride on board, see if the steering is actually straight. Yeah, steering straight enough. Just a lots of aero damage. Well, that's to be losing a lot of time. And looks a little bit shaky under steering as well. I wonder if maybe the rear tyres aren't quite pointing in all the right directions. But another shout out, by the way, as we see that very distinctive trail braking line again, this time from Peasley. A shout out to Apex Racing Academy. Apex Racing Academy offering 29 data packs for a variety of cars, single-seaters, touring cars, GTs, rallycross cars as well. And those data packs including setups and track guides, tutorials, group coaching sessions, and also you can get one-on-one coaching as well. The Apex Racing Academy. You've also got their fantastic setup sync technology as well, which makes setups a lot easier to get into your file directory. So big thanks to Apex Racing Academy for sponsoring this broadcast. Check them out, apexracingac.com. Birchtold and Butaclis, that gap maintaining. Really no battles looking like they're going to happen. Maybe Carmody Peasley could reignite. Everyone else sort of just a little bit separated. I'm a little bit surprised, but I'm also very impressed from this race, Johan, that everyone has been so consistent. You know, the gaps are just maintained, everyone's put in their times, and maybe there's been very few unforced errors.
Yeah, it's everyone's given one another the space. I think they were well aware that going too close quarter with other cars was going to cause big crashes. Especially because you're heading around the corners at such high speeds. But I'm very happy to see that everyone's still holding on. Of course, last 2 laps now, and it's going to be screaming murder on the tires as Birchtold just slides the rear, entering corner 2. And it's going to be make or break now or never. And he's done very well to keep a hold of that second position. He's got the space around him. It's just going to be a case of no unforced errors, and he's going to be home free.
Yeah, looks easy enough for the top 2 up there. If anyone's questioning what the flag is for Gullikson, that is the Scandinavian flag. I'm not sure which of the Scandinavian countries he is from, but that is the Scandinavian flag for Gullikson. We see a lot of them on particularly the Norwegians on Apex Racing TV. Once again doing very well for his country out there. 5 seconds clear of the rest of the field. See the retirees, 4 of them, all early on. Galmo, Hesterman, DeRold and Studnicki getting involved in a lap 1 instant, I believe it was, coming out of the final corner. One driver lost control and it caused absolute mayhem for everyone behind. Boober Newman having a problem, and this was over the curb, too much curb, maybe too much speed, just pick up a bit of grass. Not too bad, thankfully, for the European driver.
That was a good recovery though. Normally when you get spat out that wide and you start hitting grass, it's a bit of a slide, so he just recovered soon enough. I think he was off the throttle and the car was just able to push itself back onto the track. But yeah, very good recovery. And Butaclis doing super well in the 3rd position at the moment. He's really worked for that position, kept a hold of it. So impressive driving from him during this race. And just looking, I don't know if it's just the livery, but his car is looking very planted throughout the corners. You can just see there as he heads through, I think there was 13 and 14, 13, 14 and now 15 and 16.
No. That was Banana Chicane, wasn't it? And that's what you named it?
Banana Chicane is on the back straight.
Sorry.
He was going through the P bend there by turn 15. But yeah, I don't know how many people are actually familiar with plumbing references. And no, it's not related to a toilet. It's something else.
I mean, I have no idea. I was thinking it looks a bit like a P, but does it look? I don't know. I guess it looks like a P.
Yeah, it's exactly why they call it that. But normally people think in the other direction. Also, someone that's done very well tonight, Martina Ward, and sitting in ninth at the moment, but that's 5 position gain for her this evening. I think that is, that's the second highest amount of, a third highest amount of gained positions in this race. So I must say it's a difficult track, so to make that improvement is very good.
Definitely catching up, or maintaining the gap right now to Hammond. Not going to catch up for P8 in time. But Gullikson out in the lead. The checker flag is about to be waved for him. And after taking pole position, Havard Gullikson has dominated. And he wins week 11 of the Strength of Field race here in the Radical Racing Challenge. And he has dominated 5.5 seconds clear of the opposition. Berchtold and Puterkles rounding out the podium. Kyriakopoulos finishing in 4th position. Medema with the most places gained of anyone in 6th place. And the rest of the drivers should have a decent interval between each individual one in what was quite a high quality race in the end, even though we missed many of the regulars that we see in this championship. And also, whilst the drivers just crossing the line, I will give a final shout out to Virtual Racing School, another one of our sponsors for this broadcast. Virtual Racing School offering 50 plus data packs for road and oval racing, and those data packs including setups, track guides, data analysis software as well. If you want to improve your on-track performance in road vehicles and oval vehicles as well, do check out virtualracingschool.com and get yourself a subscription. So just everyone across the line now, and we'll be able to go through your final results, and then hopefully we'll get some interviews with the drivers as well. There is Gullikson up at the top, 5.5 seconds clear of Berchtold. Puterkles was in 3rd place, Kyriakopoulos in 4th, then it was Labrose, Medema, Leah, Hammond, Ward and Mathers. 11th place was Newman, and Carmody. Over a minute down was Peasley, just about beat, apologies, Carmody got quite far clear of Peasley in the end. The retirees were Galmo, Derold, Hesterman and Studnicka. Credit to Galmo for continuing for a while, I think with damage, but in the end was too much for Hampus out there, out on track. And wait to see if we got any interviews. We do have an interview, what wonderful stuff. And the man who we're going to have a chat with is Mr. Aldous Puterkles. Congratulations, Aldous. A podium position for you there, especially from P6 on the grid. You must be very pleased. Let's go back to the start, because you had possibly the best start of anyone, gaining 2 places.
Yeah, thanks guys. Yeah,
on the first lap.
The start, I was surprised actually how I managed, to jump those few guys, and because it's really hard on those first laps with cold tires. You're really like on ice, so I was really happy that I managed to see that. And yeah, and then Dennis as well in front, he had a good pace, managed to get him few laps later. So after that it was pretty boring, but I like the track, so I enjoyed driving it.
We were discussing how we've got a lot of long radius corners around this track. Was the tyres any issues for you? Was there any drop off as the race went on?
Time wasn't too bad, because who was the Bechtel was in front of me. He was like 2 seconds in front, so I didn't get the dirty air too much, so it was alright. You still need like half throttle through those corners quite a bit, but if you follow close, then at the end of the race you're done pretty much.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it's going to be very tricky when you're picking up all of that understeer. Do you hope that this series revisits Barber in the near future? Because, I mean, since we've been broadcasting, we've never never done this car track combo in the 15 months that we've been doing the strength of field races. I don't think we've ever visited Barber. Do you hope that it will make a return soon?
Barber is actually one of the hidden gems. It's really great and technical track. Just with these cars, it's a bit problematic to overtake. If a guy knows what he's doing, basically, those straights are too short to go by, and in those turns, it's really tricky. So overtake is minimal, but it's fun to drive. Those elevation changes, I love it.
Next week we have got the staple, the Nordschleife, for the final race of the season. Do you look forward to the Nordschleife when you see it on the schedule?
Honestly, not too much. I don't think I will, but we'll see. I might be at the back somewhere because I'm not too good at it. It's a bit shame because I live in Germany, so. But yeah.
Well, we hope that you are on the grid at least, Alders, and of course, if this is your final round of the season, it is a very good one to end on. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
You guys, the community in general, because it's one of the best cars to drive around, and the guys are amazing. So yeah, basically Team Kinetic as well, and that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Aldous, and hope to see you back soon.
Yeah, see you then.
Aldous Puterclis there, your P3 finisher tonight. Johan, I think we have another interview lined up.
Yeah, so we've got Dennis Kirakopoulos with us in the commentary booth. Welcome, Dennis. And congratulations on the 4th position. It's a tough week, a very tough track to race. What was it like from your perspective throughout the race?
Yeah, thank you, Johan. It was an amazing qualification. I mean, I've never started so high, so I was really under pressure. I was also lucky that some of the fast guys didn't do a very good quali, like Anne, for example, or Hampus also. But first lap, Uldis overtook me. Immediately I was under pressure, and I know that he's a really fast guy. So after that, it was really an eventful race.
And then in terms of the track itself, we don't see Barber in that many series as we do with some of the other tracks. How do you feel about Barber Motorsport Park? Is it a bit of a fun track for you to drive, or is it one where you get a bit frustrated with the lack of overtaking opportunities?
You're right saying that there are not many overtaking opportunities. But the track is really very technical, and I think it's a shame that it doesn't get more attention, because it's a really good track, technical, good flow. I mean, it's a shame.
I definitely agree with you there. It's definitely so much fun to drive. And then heading into next week, we've got, of course, the Nordschleife. I would assume we're going to see you there, but are you doing any special preparations for it, or is it just like any other racing week for you?
Of course, I'm gonna be there. It's mostly a matter of surviving this track, because I'm not especially fast there. There are some amazing specialists on that track, so I'm gonna try to survive and bring the best result I can.
Awesome stuff. And then from your side, Dennis, any supporters that are watching your races, or people in the community that you want to send a shout out to?
People in the Discord, they are really fun guys, and I love racing every single race with them.
Awesome stuff. And yet again, congratulations on the P4 finish, and congratulations on the qualifying as well. It's always nice to see some fresh faces up at the top, and we're looking forward to seeing you racing again.
Thank you very much.
Awesome stuff. Dennis Kirakopoulos, everyone.
It's your P4 finisher tonight, and sure, we'll see Dennis back in the coming weeks. I think that pretty much rounds us off, Johan. I don't think anyone else is going to join us. Quick word, Nordschleife next week. That is gonna be fun, because the slipstream effect is super strong at the Nordschleife. Even with this new draft model, it's still very possible to race as long as drivers work together. So should be one of the races of the season. I think certainly the last couple of seasons, it's usually been very entertaining.
Yeah, it's with that long straight at the end of the lap. It always gets interesting because there's a few tactics in terms of when you overtake, where you overtake. I know we had one of the best battles from the previous season happening right there. I think it was the second to last or the last lap. Where we had a battle. Always a good thing, a fun thing to go and watch if you want to go watch something during the weekend. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and actually to see the cars in the sunlight, because it's such a beautiful track. It was such a shame that we couldn't really see what was going on, but to just see these cars flying through the hills, it's just going to be a spectacle in and of itself.
For sure, yeah, it should be a really good round of the championship, because that will be back this time next week on Apex Racing TV. Lots more action though coming up in the next few days. We've got the Formula 3.5 official series tomorrow. We've also got IGP Fun on Sunday. We've got Spec Racer Ford on Sunday as well. I think we've got Rick Tech on Monday night. We've got ARA Porsche Cup, I think, next week as well. We've got Apex Racing League Mazda Cup. Lots of stuff in European and American time zones. So do make sure to check out everything that's going on Apex Racing TV by liking this video and also subscribing to Apex Racing TV as well. And of course also check out our Facebook page, our Twitter page, and also our Instagram page as well for constant updates of everything that is happening on Apex Racing TV. But for now, from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Johan Karanis, and for Mike Yao, we are going to say goodbye, and we'll see you next time out at the Nordschleife. See you then.
Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers, including Peter Berryman, John Robertson, Brandon Trano, and IndyCar World Champion Alex Palou. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.